Hey everyone, this is Social Dissonance, also known as Shepard. Today I'll be doing the 3 Wyvern Arena quest online. It's going to be with 2 lances, and I'm going to show how to S-rank it. Now, the 3 monsters for this quest starts off with a Baroth, onto a Barioth, and finally, because it is Rathalos week, a Rathalos. So of course, when you're doing the arena, you're presented with about, depending if you're with a partner or not, about 16 different options on what you want to do in terms of loadouts. I personally am a huge fan of the Lance. I think it's both amazing for both defensive and offensive playing styles. But certainly when you have 2 status-bearing lances, such as the Gobula Mukala, actually I'm not sure if that's exactly which one this is, but it is the Gobul Lance, which does paralysis. Especially when you have the chance to synergize with another status like paralysis or sleep, you want to take that chance and really expound on it as much as you can. Because you're dealing with 3 monsters, you know, they have a, I don't know if they necessarily have a reduced life, but certainly their life is such that you should be able to kill them with all the other weapons in under 12 minutes. So what that means, if you're doing paralysis a lot, is you're going to have about, well, I mean, ideally you'd have about 4 minutes with each monster in which you can paralyze them probably at least 2 times. So the strategy that Hackan and I have here is to paralyze the monster 1 time, which shouldn't take too long, just through normal attacks and taking advantage of whatever general weaknesses they have. Then bring out your trap and hopefully get off a second paralysis or work up to the second paralysis after that. Between the 2 of us, we have 4 traps. I think we decided we'll do 1 trap for Baroth, 1 trap for Barioth, and finally 2 for Rathalos because he just does not like to stay in the air. Even with paralysis, and even with the 2 flash bombs we have. So if you've seen my Lance tutorial, you'll probably be somewhat familiar with the strategy I have with Baroth. It's probably improved some since then. I think that was almost 2 months ago when I recorded that tutorial. I think the biggest difference is I almost exclusively use counters when I'm next to monsters now. As much as I enjoyed evading, as much as I was used to evading from all of my hours played in Unite, you cannot ignore the fact that countering is the most, well, it's probably the most overpowered ability in Try, only because it takes what is normally a risk versus reward scenario and makes it purely a reward scenario, which is you're being attacked, you take away the attack, and you actually counterattack as a result. Now, the armor they give you here, the Ignactor armor, is especially well suited to countering because it gives you guard +1, which doesn't necessarily change the fact that the amount of damage you'll take, but it makes all of your counters a lot more effective. For most attacks that would either have pushed you back, you'll probably do some form of counter, or attacks where you'd only counter in a straight line, you'll do an upwards counter, which does slightly more damage. Oops. Now you're going to see some slightly more sloppy play from Hackan and I. Hopefully you'll be able to forgive us for that. It's not because we're off our game, it's because when you're doing the arena and you're hoping to get some sort of S rank, you really have to press for any advantage that you can. Now Barioth here is it's pretty random in his attacks, so you have to do the best job that you can in trying to make opportunities when normally he doesn't present you with any. And so that might mean moving in for an attack when you're not 100% certain of whether he's going to be attacking you or your teammate. Been doing a fairly decent job so far of countering through those screams. That really helps get off so many more attacks. I think the biggest problem people have when they're trying to learn the counter is I think a lot of people are under the impression that you have to time it exactly, and that's just not the case. All you have to do is go into a block This is for the Classic Controller 2, by the way. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same with Classic Controller 1. And by the way, I took that hit, but that was because I was trying to make sure Hackan wouldn't die if Barioth charged him instead. If you're using the Classic Controller 1 controls, just hold down R like you would block any other attack, and then if you're holding R and you press A, you'll enter the counter animation, which lasts for about 2.5 seconds. And any attack that hits you during that time will be automatically countered. You don't have to have any sort of really specific timing to it. I think I'm going to show it off here fairly soon, because he's going to go in rage mode. Yep, see, I'm holding it. See, so it wasn't as quick as you normally see it. You'll start charging up, and as long as you don't hold it for too long, like as long as you don't start it way too early, you'll be able to counter the attack. Oops. It's not really fair when they attack you from off screen. Although, it's part of the challenge of this game is constantly keeping the monster in screen. Okay, if he's flinching, I'm going to take a potion. You'll see for the most part, I've learned to really start using the various dodges with the lance. Not so much to evade, but just to put myself in a better position. Okay, by the way, I was talking about something else before. As soon as you kill one of the monsters in this 3 Wyverns arena quest, start sharpening immediately, because that's pretty much the only really free chance you're going to have to sharpen. Okay, when he screams for the first time, he's going to do some sort of attack, but he will not do his fireball backwards jump attack, so you can feel free to attack his head. At least when he first sees you. And really, when he spins is your chance to try and get off some sort of counter. Though it doesn't help if he's going in both directions. That is a lot of spinning. That is considerable. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the end of the quest. At the very least, we're on the last monster, so I'm going to start using life powders a lot more. If I can short Hackan's recovery time at all, even by just a potion's length, it's better than not using it. Okay, I'm not really sure why he used the shock trap right away. I think he's under the impression that because we have 2 shock traps, we should use the first one before we've gotten a paralysis off. But ideally, you wouldn't even drop the first one until you've gotten the first paralysis off already. It's only because the second shock trap is really just not too terribly effective. It's more of a flinch than an actual trap. I'm going to see if I can kick him out of this. I think I've got poor depth perception, but he got out just by the time I got to him anyways. And when he shoots his fireball, make sure to take the chance and actually get a couple hits in on his head. Again, I use that delay counter in case he shot another fireball or really anything else. A lot of good counters. I think that, again, another note about counters is they come out really quickly. I think a lot of people have the tendency to just want to spam the dodge move because it seems faster. But in reality, the counter comes out almost as quickly, if not exactly as fast. I can't really count frames, so I can't tell you if one is faster than the other. All I know is that they're both very quick. Similar to the longsword, if you just watch the longsword tutorial, you can use the side hops to get yourself in a better position if you think you're too close to his head, where you're going to get fireballed. Of course, if there's no way you can dodge out of the way, just guard or counter, which is the best way. Okay, I'm not counter-counseling into a combo here because I want to try and make sure I get all of my attacks off on the head. Oh wow, that second paralysis came out really quickly. I think that's because we had him in the flash bomb before and he was just a little bit stunned. Oops, missed that dodge. Probably should try to get for that. I've been talking about counters the entire time. Okay, we're getting pretty close to A rank, which makes me sad. But so long as we get him in this one last trap, I think we'll be able to get him. Because we've just done a tremendous amount of damage. It's probably an unnecessary sharpening, and I got punished for it. Yeah, if you don't have anyone with... Oh no. If you don't have anyone with bowguns, you're pretty much at Rathalos' mercy. That'll have to do, Hackan. This is just the way Rathalos goes. Well, I think this should be it, though. Okay, so that is 11 minutes and 53 seconds. I'd say we did it. Alright, so any questions? Just direct them to my comments. And until next time, good luck and have a good hunt.